Alright fellas, what is up? Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. It is always greatly appreciated. And I am back with the discussion, so let's get straight into it fellas. Now I want to talk about something different, something I haven't really done in a while, and I kind of want to do more of these from time to time. It's kind of talk about these consoles, and it's kind of, I suppose you could call it like console war if you really wanted to. But I want to talk about the Xbox One S, and is it worth the money? Well, earlier on today fellas, I traded in my old 360, a bunch of games, some old controllers, and I paid off my Xbox One S 2TB. Now that will be here next week, and it kind of got me thinking, is it worth it? So I kind of want to go through a few things that the Xbox One S technically does, and technically also it actually is slightly more powerful than the current Xbox One we have now. But I'll kind of talk about how and why it is a wee bit more powerful, so let's get straight into it fellas. Now the Xbox One S is able to do this certain thing called HDR. Now I won't get into all the nitty gritty details about it, but pretty much what it is if you have a TV that is HDR enabled, certain games that have HDR built in, like Gears of War 4 for example is one of these games, kind of certain colors, certain lighting effects in the game are actually going to pop and look a wee bit better as well. Now certain games, especially Xbox One exclusives that have dynamic resolution, are going to be scaled up with this Xbox One S as well. Now an example for that also is Halo 5 Guardians. That is dynamic 1080p 60, but on the Xbox One S I've heard quite a lot of people say that it could possibly be 1080p 60. Now the human eye can't really see the difference between 900p and 1080p, it's pretty much impossible. But if it does do this for certain games, even multiplayer, that'll be pretty cool as well. And it'll kind of stop that whole bullshit that's going around how the Xbox One isn't powerful and all that sort of bullshit. Because it is. I mean, just look at Rise of the Tomb Raider, just look at Halo 5, just look at Quantum Break, just look at Sunset Overdrive. Those games are freaking amazing. So people who say the Xbox One isn't powerful, they're just full of shit and they're just fanboys. Just ignore them fellas. The Xbox One is a beast. But I ain't talking about the Xbox One, I'm talking about the Xbox One S. Is it worth your purchase? So as I mentioned before, it is running HDR, so certain games are going to pop and look a wee bit better. Not like a huge difference, like you probably won't even notice it unless you really pay attention. But they will pop a wee bit more if they are using this HDR. Now, the Xbox One S can also scale up to 4K if you have a 4K TV. Now, I personally don't have a 4K TV at the specific time, but I will plan on getting one in the future, because I went and purchased my Xbox One S today as I mentioned before. Now it will get here next week and I cannot freaking wait. And it also comes with a reimagined controller that have grips on the underside, and it's even slightly heavier, and it does have Bluetooth 2.0 as well. So pretty much what that means is you can use any wireless headset you possibly want through this Bluetooth on the controller as well. Now you can just plug a controller in if you want to, so not a controller, a headset, which I probably will because I got Turtle Beaches. I like Turtle Beaches, so I'll just plug mine into those. But I'll still probably use my Elite controller over the Xbox One S controller anyway. And something that I didn't previously mention about the 4K Blu-ray player is that the Xbox One S is the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player on the market, so that's also a bonus as well. So if you guys like watching high definition 4K Blu-ray movies, then the Xbox One S is actually the cheapest way to do that as well. So I've talked about the 4K, I've talked about the Bluetooth controller, I've talked about the HDR gaming. So these are certain things that do actually make the Xbox One a slightly more powerful console, obviously with the HDR. And also it does add a few things that are different into the Xbox One ecosystem as well. Now it's also 40% smaller than the current Xbox One we have now. Now it didn't really bother me how big the console was, because it pretty much just goes in like just into your display, and that's kind of the last you ever move it. So the size never really bothered me, but if you guys are interested in the size, it is 40% smaller as well, and it actually is now smaller than the PlayStation 4, so that is pretty cool as well. With the Xbox One Scorpio coming out next year, maybe this Xbox One S isn't for everyone, but if you're like a hardcore gamer and if you really want like 2 Xbox Ones in the house or the 4K Blu-ray player, or you're just like me and you just want to get amongst it fellas, I just want to get amongst this S, have it on my shelf. I'll stick my current Xbox One I have now in the lounge and have the Xbox One in my room in my setup, the Xbox One S in my setup. So if you guys are going to get this Xbox One, be sure to comment down below. So in my opinion fellas, this Xbox One S is worth the money, because in New Zealand money it is exactly, I think, $627, and if you trade in like a few consoles, if you trade in your Xbox One, you actually get $200 off. So if you guys are interested in this, you could actually trade in your Xbox One and get about $200 off the price for it, so it could be down to 400 as well. Now I'm getting the 2TB, so that is pretty cool as well. So the trade-in value for a 500 gig current Xbox One is, I think, in New Zealand money, $200, so that is pretty freaking good as well, fellas. So I do recommend getting this if you are a hardcore Xbox gamer and you do want to support Microsoft. Then do this, fellas, do this if you are interested in it. But it's not a big deal if you don't, because obviously the Scorpio is coming out next year, and obviously every single game that comes out on this is going to come out on the One as well, so there's going to be no difference. We're still going to be playing with each other, party chat, it's all exactly the same. It's pretty much just a slightly smaller, slightly powerful more console. And also, fellas, all the slims in the past from the 360 and the PS3 generation, they were all slightly powerful than the previous models as well, so be sure to bear that in mind. But as always, thank you for watching, have a great day, have a great week. Be sure to comment down below if you guys are getting this S now. My overall opinion, as I mentioned before, is it is worth it if you guys really do want it. If you guys really do want it, and you are planning on getting a 4K TV with HDR, then I do recommend getting the S, because I'm going to be doing that as well. Stay safe, stay tuned, have a great day, have a great week, and I will see you fellas on Xbox One. Be sure to add me ZombieBang666, be sure to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you fellas on the next one. Yeah. Woo! Yeah.